does not mean the place you came from and the color of law and the government you're acting under become irrelevant and melt away. And if you're listening to all this, watching on the news, watching it later on YouTube, listening to me on one of those serious audio reports, I promise you from the sound of my voice that if you're thinking, well, I don't know how much I care about these people who are called gang members, we're all going to care a hell of a lot if the United States government under Donald Trump could ever apply a legal theory like this, because its logical conclusion means if they take you off site somewhere else and can do whatever they want, well, then it's open season on just about anyone.
You can throw any one of us
in a plane. It's not that hard to throw someone on a plane, violating a court order, and getting them out to international waters. There was also a third plane that took off later, and then a White House official, disarmed from all those other explanations I just referenced, simply and brazenly claimed it doesn't matter when the flights took off because this was a baseless legal ruling. So this is pretty serious. It's obviously serious for the Constitution, and if the administration is defying that,
it could be anybody.
It's serious for anybody impacted right now, which includes obviously the people deported without due process.
Don't even know if all the people were gang members.
Won't really know if they are who the government says they are. Just to go back to the basics, that's why the United States has a constitution that supersedes any single politician, why our founders established those rights and rule of law to begin with, and they warned against exactly the potential abuse of these kind of moves.
This was happening now.
Start denying rights to some, even if some of them might be guilty, or might through a more slowed down process still be found eligible for deportation, right? If you have evidence on them about their legal status or
no due process is dangerous.
But how those moves can then be used against anyone if there's no check on tyrannical governments. That's the whole point of the Bill of Rights. So it's serious. And yet, we do live in strange political times. And we know that cynical bids to grind people down, to exhaust everyone and normalize almost anything are part of this right-wing process and playbook. Even a violent insurrection can be normalized.
Yep.
It might not even be a conscious strategy at this point. It's a kind of cynical political instinct where anything can be defended and then normalized and even eventually
nonviolent protest,
as the term goes, which is the lens I invite you to consider for this post here, retweeted by Marco Rubio. What you're looking at is a very cynical post from a Trump ally there